Hey, everybody. Hey, welcome back to the 53206 cast. I'm Alex.
And I'm Meg.
And Meg.
Yeah.
It's a podcast.
It is a podcast. It is.
Meg, today, week 2 of We Got This.
Week 2.
And Meg, the thing I thought might happen, turns out it did happen. We were at capacity.
Yes.
For the first time in the year, second week. We'll take it.
Yeah.
That's good. And in fact, we did have to, we had to turn a couple of kids away. Honestly, we kind of just bumped the capacity a little bit. But we were at, I did a quick rough count, and 186 was the number.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
186. Wow. Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah, it's almost 20 more, or it is more than 20 our previous max.
Yeah.
The previous record was 162.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's quite a bit more.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot. So,
for those new listeners.
Oh, sure. You want to go back?
We Got This is the community garden over on 9th and Ring that inspires a neighborhood to be the best you can. Kids come out on a Saturday and they work hard and they earn $20, and sometimes they make even more if they're working hard. So it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of hard work done today. Had a lot of kids cleaning up the neighborhood. We had a dumpster. It was a nice amount of trash in the dumpster.
Yeah.
And we had, the kids cutting the grass, a lot of planting, a lot of prepping of garden boxes still, because we've got a little bit of time before we absolutely have to get everything in the ground.
Yeah.
And overall, a ton of work being done.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. My group is the beautification group, and we went out. Somebody contacted We Got This and said we would love flowers planted in our space. And so we took I think it was about a half a mile away, and I had a big group. And so I kind of told everybody, like, hey, this is a bigger group. So there's going to be times when you're going to be doing stuff, and there's going to be times that you're not. And part of working is just sitting there and waiting, and, until there's something to do. And, it was like 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here. It wasn't a long time, but I thought the group did a really good job. And we went to a woman's house, and she kind of had a few different spots, and she was like, plant wherever. And so, we planted dahlias and straw flowers, and it was actually really funny. I brought so in January, I started this Lysianthus, or it's something like this. Okay. It's super hard to grow from seed, and I grew 3 of them from seed. And so I actually brought one, and I was like, oh, I don't want to plant this, and so it was really funny because the kids planted it, and I was like, can we actually not plant that one? That was a really hard one to grow, and I want to see how it turns out, which was funny. But planted, a bunch of dahlia tubers, a bunch of zinnias, some sunflowers, some seeds. And I feel like we had a really, really good time. There was kind of 4 different areas of the yard that were small, but people could kind of get in and weed, put down compost, and it was great. And then our second half of the day, we were supposed to go out and do trash pickup, but all the trash pickers and buckets were gone.
Yeah, I think we used them all up. They were all out.
And we had a pretty big group, so I was like, okay, let's just go. So I was like, I don't want half the kids to have trash pickers. That's not fair, and it's kind of a waste. Really make sense, yeah. And so we just replanted seedlings from that I had been growing from seed. So we replanted a ton of them so that they'll just get bigger and grow bigger, so we can plant them, in probably 2 weeks.
Nice.
At another garden space. So it was great. I think a few highlights were I had this one girl that kept getting stuff in her eye. And you know how I am with medical things.
Yeah,
I am
good.
I'm I don't want to look in her eye. And so I didn't say that, but there was a bunch of 14-year-old girls, and they're like, I'll help out. And I was like, thank you so much. So that was it was really wonderful that they were very caring and nice to this young girl that just kept getting stuff in her eye. And I'm like, oh, I can't handle this. And then another kind of cool thing was we had a autistic young man he didn't really talk.
Sure.
And his younger sister was in the group, and so she would kind of say he wants this. And but he was one of the hardest working kids in the group. And it was just I feel stupid for saying that, but I'm he was such a good worker, and he understood everything that we were he just it was very neat how well he caught on with something, and he would come up and he would kind of be point to stuff, and he could communicate fine. But it was really neat how wonderful of a worker he was, and how even one of the girls, and she, I feel like she could be like our student leader. She was so great. Like, she kind of like helped him out and was like, no, you need to do this. And like, she really kind of like took ownership of like helping him understand where he was supposed to plant.
Okay.
He tore up like this entire weed that was like, it was huge. And I was like, you are so strong. But yeah, we just had a really great group. And, there's two girls that were kind of having some problems, and one was like mean mugging the other, and so like, and it was one of the girls that she kept getting stuff in her eyes.
Okay, so maybe she just had something in her
I know. On reflection, I'm like, I think that was actually what's it. And so we were like stopped, and we were like, okay, let's just separate. You're not gonna like everybody you're working with. Always, if you're in a work situation, you have to work with people, and it's like school. Like, you're not gonna like everyone, so just move away from them. So yeah, it was just a really great time, a really great group.
Yeah, I was, so we hit capacity, and one of the things that I like to do when we get at capacity or close to capacity is tell the end of the line, okay, you have a spot, but I'm not sure where, and I need you to just stay outside the gates. I'll get you a spot, and I'll give them a ticket and say, we'll figure this out.
Yeah.
But I really like when you can manufacture scarcity in a situation. And so we were full, and it's just interesting. You say out loud to everyone that you're going to ask someone to leave because we have other people waiting, and they're hoping that if we need everybody to be quiet, for example.
Yeah.
Because you're giving some directions or you want to tell them something. I think it's a positive. It's a net positive for the culture when you have that a little bit of scarcity, a little bit of stakes involved in what you're doing, because you want the kid to feel like they are, first off, a part of something, but then that their position in there is something that they have already, by getting here early enough, worked for. Because we were full at 7:45.
Yeah.
So you had to have gotten there before 7:45 to even get a spot. And in fact, we had a parent who offered to just pay for their kids to come through. I don't think she actually did.
Okay.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that big of a deal. But that's
kind of neat.
Yeah, it then led, and this actually happened three times. Yeah, 3 times. Today, not that specific scenario, but the scenario that I'm about to tell you about. They, the parents that were there had some thoughts on how we could be doing things.
Love that. Yeah.
And so I was very quick to remind, or to let them know that we were, the vast majority of us were volunteers. And if they, and like, oh, you want it to be done this way, well, why don't you go over there and try and help make it that way?
Yeah.
And a couple, I think 2 out of the 3 stuck around for a little while.
Nice. I just, from working in schools for a long time, like, I know, you can't really do that as a parent in a school, and it's really not appropriate to do that, to just say, oh, you're a parent and you want to have some thoughts, come on and what do you think? Why don't you help run this little part of what we're doing? But it was really nice because you want that. You want the kid to be involved. You're happy if the family if
be
the
involved.
parents
a lot of times,
invested, that's great.
A lot of times, a kid doesn't come by themselves. They come with their siblings. So there's 3 or 4 kids that are kind of showing up together. And that was the case with this particular, or at least one of those instances.
Yeah.
It was a parent of a couple of kids, and they went and helped with the snack.
Nice.
Yeah,
well, that's great.
I don't know if they needed any help, but still, it was nice to offer that parent a little bit of autonomy in the situation and say, oh, you don't like that? Well, go. I think it was something having to do with cream cheese.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, I don't care
yes.
what your thoughts on cream cheese are. But I'm happy to direct you to where the cream cheese is. And if I didn't ask, I guess maybe I should have asked if that was a helpful or unhelpful thing. But I feel like an extra hand is always, it's always helpful.
No, so. And I've asked the women that run kind of the lunch program, like if I have parents that want to help out, and they were like, yeah, we always love that.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, I thought so at the end of the time we have, we circle up, which was nice because it was hot today. I didn't realize it was like 85.
I know it got hotter than,
Yeah, I was surprised. And so it was nice to sit just in the shade. And like we sat in the shade and went through the circle questions, and a lot of them had to do with like, what are you proud of, and like what are some of your goals for summer. And so that was really fun to hear some of the goals for people for summer, or like what they were proud of. It was really neat because we all went around and like, people told what they were proud of, and a lot of people were proud of like helping this woman plant the garden.
Sure.
A lot of them were, just proud that they could help somebody in the group, or, stuff like that. And so it was neat. I said I was proud of that. All of the things that we planted today, I grew from seed.
Oh, yeah.
And so I felt like that was a little fun. And they were all like, oh, wow.
Oh.
And so I feel like, just kind of hearing some of their goals too. Like some of them just want to be better cooks, or like some of them like, and then we got into like, okay, what if you wanted to be a better reader? How do you read? Like, how do you be a better reader? So we're talking about just reading more and stuff like that. And it was really nice too, because somebody dropped off a whole bunch of books at the garden today that people could just take with them home. So yeah, I felt like today it was very like full circle. Like it was just a lot of things coming together that worked really well. That it was great.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. Anything else you want to add about We Got This?
No.
Well, Meg, we've been under gentrification watch 2026.
Yes.
And one of the things that we back, I don't know, in January or February, we thought, okay, well, let's get this dumpster delivered. The city of Milwaukee offers free dumpsters to communities to, fill up. Mm-hmm. Basically, you got a bunch of stuff in your house, or an organization can request a dumpster and they'll drop it off.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, and I maybe we can talk about a couple of reasons why this might be the case, but it was interesting. So each week you and I will go around and write down the tasks for the different groups.
Yeah.
So then it can be typed up, and we can make sure we have the materials organized and sorted and then ready to go for everybody. And so I don't know if it was Monday, or it was probably Monday night, we drove around and we were looking for, up and down the alleys to see if there was a bunch of garbage.
Yeah. Because usually
normally there is.
Yeah. Usually there's just like people like dump couches or boats or parts of cars.
Sure.
Like there's usually like a lot of bigger stuff.
And I mean, there was still some, but I think I was a little surprised.
I was too, yeah.
At how clean. And when I say clean, they're not clean.
No.
The alleys, but
no.
They're not. They weren't as dirty as they.
There wasn't as many big pieces of like furniture or like just big things. Yeah,
because in my head I thought, okay, we'll get this dumpster and then we'll have kids like hauling.
Yeah.
Couches.
Yeah.
I mean, because I kind of think if I'm like 14 years old.
Yeah.
And me and my buddies can haul a couch down the alley and throw in the dumpster, like that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there wasn't as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if this is an official gentrification watch sign or alert, but I did notice that.
That was interesting. Yes.
I did notice that. And I will say there has been less, well, since they tore, so by the flower farm, one of the gardens for We Got This is a flower farm, and by the flower farm there had been a house that burned down.
Mm-hmm.
And the house was torn down a few months ago, and now there's just it's not even an empty field. I don't even know what to call it, but there's a spot.
Very bumpy
yeah,
place to
I don't
walk that you
totally,
might fall.
Yeah.
Real bumpy.
Yeah, Dex drove the tractor over that, and then the wheel fell off.
Yeah.
It was so, but there's no house there.
There's no
so
house.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
We're not.
The city of Milwaukee has 6 months to
grade it. Yeah, I don't. But whatever. So there's a reason I suppose why that is. Whatever. That's not the purpose of this podcast or this segment of Gentrification Watch. The purpose of saying that is that I've seen less dumping over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it may be because that house is no longer there.
Yeah.
And that would be a great place to dump.
Yeah.
Right there. It was perfect.
Yeah. That a burnt down house, like no one's gonna care.
Yeah. Just dump everything. Dump everything there. But even with that spot, not attracting as much dumping, I will say I do feel like there is less dumping
on our block.
Yeah, and
There's
even
the other burnt down house that I just saw like a fender.
Yeah.
There's just not. I mean.
But I will say, I feel like now I don't want to give off the impression that there's no dumping, because that's not true. Clearly, there still is, but it does seem to be a little bit less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that is a result of the neighborhood slightly changing, or if that's a result of people not doing dumping anymore, or the fines that were instituted for dumping. Whatever it is,
they have a new dumping agency or what's it? It's not an agency.
The Czar of Dumping.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know. It's a
probably some kind of community, something
group?
common council appointed.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All I know is all I can say is that I have noticed that it is a little better, and so whatever is happening could potentially be doing something.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about how we feel about gentrification?
Oh, I mean, you can. This is Gentrification Watch 2026.
I know. And I feel like I haven't.
Did you have something profound you wanted to say?
No, I think like whenever we talk about gentrification, I just want to say like I think like everyone thinks so. I mean, obviously gentrification isn't good, but either is like having super crappy houses for families to live in. And so
Sure.
I feel like I just always want to say like, yeah, gentrification's not like we don't want gentrification, but we also don't want housing that is substandard for people to live in. And there should be another option.
Yeah, like some kind of middle of the road.
Yeah.
So, I would say, if some action took place to curb the dumping a little bit, it seems like it's working.
Yeah.
So I'm happy about that. If it means that just the neighborhood is slowly progressing towards something different, then I guess I'm at least happy that there's not dumping.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But anyways, the thing with gentrification, Meg, that you asked me if we were going to share some thoughts on it or how we feel about it. I don't know. I don't know that I can, whether I like it or not, or think it should happen or shouldn't happen. I don't know that there's really a whole lot that I would be able to do other than just remind any person that would now deem our neighborhood suitable to live in that they would not have thought it to be suitable to live in, for at least the last 20 years.
Yeah.
But my thoughts on it would be that that it really probably I don't have a great example of this, but like in Milwaukee, like there's like the Walker's Point neighborhood, and there's like some of the stuff that's like by the river.
Yeah.
Remember when the area by the river used to be like a wasteland?
Yeah.
And now it's like nice because people want to sit by the river.
Yeah, it's great.
I mean, that makes sense. Like the river should have some value. It's a body of water, and people want to be by the water. So I understand that. Here it's a little different because there's no body of water, but like,
yes,
there's no river here.
Okay, I thought you were saying in Milwaukee there's no body of water, and
no,
I was
no.
like, wait.
I'm saying in our neighborhood doesn't have
Got it.
a
I was
river.
like, remember the really
running through
big body of water to our
yeah, it's a great
to
lake.
our east.
It's a great lake. That anyways, so I know that there's these other places that have been gentrified, and when somebody would look at them, if you have been around long enough, you remember what it used to be like, and then now what it is, and you now have you can, if you want to, label that area as gentrified.
Yeah.
I don't know that you could. I don't know that you would necessarily notice if you weren't paying attention when an area would go through the gentrification process. I think it would just sort of, you might look up one day and be like, oh, that's different, and that's different. Like, remember that house that's on like 10th and Keefe, I think it is, and they're redoing the outside?
Yeah.
And I'm all for people redoing the outside of their house. This house, it looks like it should be on the. They're redoing the outside of this house to make it look like it could have looked like 100 years ago, which is fine, but
very expensive.
It wouldn't shock me if they're spending $100,000 on the outside of this house.
Wow. Okay.
I
and
think
they probably bought the house for, maybe
I don't know,
50, 60.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, probably something like that. So I know nothing about the owners. I know nothing about the actual house or the situation. But I do know, like, okay, that doesn't really fit
Sure.
here. And maybe it'll pay off and maybe it'll be a good investment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it is or not, but
Mm-hmm.
you definitely like would start to notice like, okay, that's, that's something a little different.
Yeah.
It's something a little different.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know that you would necessarily, unless you were like really paying attention. I don't know that you would notice it. You would just look up one day and realize, oh, this is now how it is, So in conclusion, I'm okay that we didn't have a lot of large things to haul to the dumpster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Although me and two other guys, after the garden was done, we stuck around and we basically filled the thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was fine. We had plenty of stuff in houses and all sorts of things to get rid of. And the groups cut down a bunch of brush today, so we were able to get rid of a bunch of that too. So it all worked out. It all worked out fine.
That's good.
Meg,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to plug? It's about time to go.
I think I just want to plug the Amazon wish list for We Got This, because the there's some snack stuff on there that would be helpful. I just realized we only have 2 sprinklers and we have 5 different spaces that need to be watered. So, I'll put a sprinkler on there. So the Amazon wish list can be found on there's a link right off the website, wegotThisMK.com, and that would just be great to have a few extra things. And that just goes directly to, the snacks go directly to the kids, and obviously the watering stuff goes for the produce that's going to go to the families. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Meg, with a record number of kids coming out, that means that not every kid does trash cleanup at the same time, but basically every kid does trash cleanup.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we probably have 55 or 60 trash pickers.
Yeah.
Which means if we've got 130 kids, everybody can do it, because it's about half of that. But if we're at 150, 160, 180, then like today we'll run out. So if you're a listener and you want to hit up the Amazon wish list, we'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, and you can always buy local and then just drop it off on Saturday too. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.